All right. Well, welcome everybody. My name is Joyce and I am Diamond at doTERRA and the founder of Fun Oil Stuff. How do I pin my photo? Can you guys see me? Mute my audio. Hang on. Okay, I'm going to pin myself. Awesome. Thanks, Norma. Okay, so welcome to our 3-day challenge Zoom call. So I'm just going to tell you a little story about how this all got started. I'm going to walk you through some of the details of how I run 3-day challenges and what I've seen and experienced with my own group. And then I'll share with you you can obviously go make your own 3-day challenges with what we've told you, but I do have 3-day challenge templates all set up. And I don't know about you, but I'm the kind of girl that if someone will show me how to do something, I could just take it and run with it. I kind of like that. So I'll show you some ways that if you want to get a jump start, see how it's done, how we've done it. I'll show you some ways you can check it out. Okay, so last year, COVID has really made everything kind of crazy the last couple of years. I'm sure you all can relate. And so a lot of I feel like everything that we used to do kind of got turned on its ear, and it's all got complicated. My fire alarm's going off. Can you guys hear that? And my husband's baking and it does that. Hang on a second. Okay, we're okay now. He's got it. Okay, so continuing education, we did a lot of in-person events pre-COVID. We did a lot of Zoom calls. We built out a customer area on my website with all kinds of education information in there. And it's just been hard to, people's attention spans are limited and their, ability to, I don't know about you guys, but I also last fall got very zoomed out. I hit a point where asking to sit on a Zoom for even 30 minutes to 45 minutes, God forbid a whole hour, felt like a big ask. And so, I know we're taught to do like the same continuing education over and over again, and I totally get the value of that. Our customers do need to hear the same things over and over again. But last fall, I kind of hit this point where it wasn't working, and I needed something new. I do a lot of marketing stuff. I like to get on marketing webinars, and I like to get in other marketing communities. And I came across this group, and it was completely not related to doTERRA or network marketing at all. But they were talking about how they were using these 3-day challenges as a tool to keep their Facebook group engaged, because they use their Facebook group as like, it's like a big pool of potential customers. So they didn't actually sell anything actively in there. They just kind of marketed. They needed the group to be like excited and engaged and like people joining all the time. And that's just what served their business the best way. And so I was listening to this and I thought, and they were just doing silly 3-day challenges that weren't related to their business. And I was like, I feel like that could be something fun for Oilers, like Oilers, that we could do all kinds of 3-day challenges, right? And so ideation is my number one strength. And so, that got my ideation folks out there, right? It gets our wheels spinning. And I started being like, what could I do with that? So I ran my first 3-day challenge last November, and it was a pretty big hit. I was really simple. I didn't put a lot of, I'll show you a few of the things that I did. It was like cartoony kind of graphics. And I was looking back at it today because I'm actually revamping. The first one that I did was a stress less 3-day challenge. And so I just was trying to get my customers to use the oils that they already have at home. If you guys are in my Facebook group, I always talk about, like, that's one of our biggest messages that we want to share with our customers on a regular basis. I'm not always here to tell you to go get new oils. I want you to enjoy the oils and use the oils that you've already got at home. That's my job, right? And so I really wanted to emphasize that with them. So I told them, I said, all I want you to do is make a roller and then, but I'm not going to give you a recipe. I'm going to encourage you. I'm going to give you a list of oils. I want you to go through your oils and pull out just a couple of them. And then we'll all have our own version. And so, and then you can, I'm looking at the comments here. Valerie says ideation number 5. Yeah, I'm with you, girl. So So we did a 3-day challenge. It went over really well. I had customers that have been in the group for like 7 years that were like, I forget sometimes how great it can be to just use my roller a few times a day. Like it feels so obvious. It feels like it's one of those things that we've all done so many times that it almost is like we don't even talk about it or whatever. So I got really great feedback, and it was so popular. We did it like mid-November, and they asked if we could do it again in December. And I was like, well, sure. I mean, yeah. So I took the same graphics and I made them Christmassy. And then I just ran the same exact one. I didn't even change the like plan at all. And it was just as fun in December as it was in November. So I was like, well, this is pretty interesting. I wonder if I could like develop this a little bit more. So, we came back in January, and everyone was like, usually we try to go for the 30-day cleanse, early in the year. And that's a way that we can try to get our community engaged. But that's a big ask also. There's some people that will always go for it, but there's going to be a larger number of people that might be a lot to ask for. So the idea I came up with before Christmas when I was running the Stress Less one again was I was like, I'm going to do a Kick That Craving 3-day challenge. That would be brilliant for January. So I started telling them that I was going to do that. I started marketing ahead of time. So this is how the whole like process kind of unfolded. And so in the beginning of January, I started marketing that challenge. And then the next week I helped them prep for it. I gave them their little couple of, it's really simple stuff. You'll see here in a minute. I'm not asking them to do really complicated things. I just want them to use their oils a little bit, a couple times a day. That's it. It's super simple. And so we ran that Kick That Craving challenge. That was super popular. And then, if you guys, some of you don't know me because you came in from other groups and stuff, but I have a little website of things that I've kind of cultivated over the last few years that I use to support my team. And they're cute things like these cute little oil magnets that say essential oils, or I don't know if you can see it with the reflection in the camera, but it says essential oils are always a good idea. We've got all kinds of little roller labels and cute packets. I worked with an artist to help build, create some of these things. And so I threw up a website in 2020 because everybody kept asking me where I was getting this stuff from. And I was like, well, we just made it. I'm not, it's just my stuff that I use. So eventually I threw it up. It's called Fun Oil Stuff. And I like to make things, and I like quality things. I like to send my customers a little something. I like to love all my customers, but I don't know about you guys, but I've spent a fortune in the past trying to send out like big stuff. So what I finally realized with the 3-day challenge was, I'm kind of turned into a label snob now. I don't want to print my own labels at home. I don't want the address labels with the duct tape on them to hold it. I'm just over it. I like nice labels. If I have a nice label, I use it. And so I don't know why I'm such a baby about it. Maybe everyone else isn't like that, but this is my Zinger roller. And so just having a nice label, and I don't know why my focus is so poor, but it gives you the instructions on how to use it. And it's really, this is terrible. I can't show you, but anyway, it says, apply to temples and ears as needed, inhale deeply from hands. My customers, when they get what I started doing was like, I'm going to make a label that matches the challenge. And then when I market it the first week, I can invite them and say, hey, if you want to jump in on this, I'll send you a label for your roller bottle. And then we'll do the challenge, So I started kind of developing that. So then I came up with these label sheets because then I needed everything I have at Fun Oil Stuff. If you check it out, everything I have there, I developed because I wanted it for my customers. And then it just sort of went from there. So I'm not just, it's all stuff. So I was like, well, I need a sheet of the same roller labels. So I created these big sheets. So I'm using some of these. This is my latest 3-day challenge is Stress Less. I'm revamping the Stress Less challenge right now. And these are the chill out roller labels. So what I did was I started cutting these up into this is the Zinger label. So I took it, the Zinger comes in a sheet like this. I cut it up. And then when I did my challenge, I would say, hey, if you guys want to do this, comment below the first 18 people to jump in and comment below, I'm going to mail you a label. So then I went and got these little welcome or little blank cards from the dollar store. There's like a 10 pack for $1 or something. And I started doing that. So each month I run a different challenge roughly. If I do space, I did skip 1 month, I think, because we had like BOGOs and something else was going on. And I think we were doing a cleanse and it just seemed like there was too much going on to do the 3-day challenge that month. But generally speaking, I run it. I know what the challenge is going to be the next month at the end of the previous challenge. So I'll tell them, hey, next month we're going to do this challenge. And so it kind of grows from there. Yeah, it's funoilstuff.com, Leah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm so sorry, Val. I think it's Valis. I'm not going to say it right, but I'm going to say Val. I don't know if that's your first name, but I know the glare is terrible. I don't know why my lamps are glaring off my labels really poorly, but that's about as good as it's going to get. So I'll post some pictures in the events so you guys can take a look at like, what does this look like? So basically what I do is I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show you guys a couple of things here. And I'm just going to share my desktop so that I don't have to keep track of what I'm looking at. And so in here, I've got a guide I'm going to let you guys download it here. But before I do that, let's take you here. So this is the Stress Less challenge that I just put together. So basically what I do is I create some marketing graphics, some stuff that I can use in my Facebook group that will, not every challenge is going to speak to every customer, and it shouldn't. I want to engage different parts of my community. And so I've done a lights out 3-day challenge for sleep. I've done a tummy troubles 3-day challenge for those that have tummy issues. I've done a wake up and get focused. That's the one I just finished. We're going to redo the Stress Less challenge from last year. And I feel like there's another one. So every month I plan on building out another challenge until I have around 12 to 15 challenges, kind of a library of 3-day challenges that I can cycle through with my customers based on what's going on. But so I have some marketing graphics. The first week of the month, for me, this is how it works for me. Everybody's going to do it a little different. I want my customers to know what to expect. So I kind of try to run it that way. And so I do the first week is advertising and promoting the 3-day challenge that I'm going to do. So I come up with some fun graphics for that. And I try to make them funny. I'm a big fan of humor, and I try to keep my Facebook group fun and engaging, and so that people are having a good time while they're doing it. And then from there, I take them into prep week. Okay. And so we start getting into what they need. What do they need? Okay. And then I have a graphic for making their rollers. And at this point, I'm marketing like I said, I've got one sheet of labels. I'll tell them this, I got one sheet of labels. I'm going to cut these up, and the first 18 people to jump in, you're going to get one of these labels in the mail. Ahead of time, I will get all of my envelopes ready to go. I go get the stamps from Costco, the sheets of them. And I buy 3 or 4 packs of these and just keep them around the house. They're really cheap. It's like I said, it's like $1 for a 10 pack or something like that. I cut up my labels and get them all ready to go. I pack my envelopes. I write a quick handwritten note in there. And I'll say something like, right before I'm going to mail it, I'll write a quick note and I'll say, I'm going to pick a name here. Angela. Hey, Angela, Joy, I'm so excited for you to join our challenge coming up next week. We're going to have a blast. Hang on to this label, stick it on your refrigerator with a magnet, and tune in on Sunday night, the whatever date, and we'll show you how to make your roller. And so it's just a random version of it. If you're like to print labels, you could print your own labels and stick them in there that says that same thing, and you could hand sign it. And then I stick the Zinger label in there, or whatever label is appropriate for the 3-day challenge. Now, I'm a big fan of creating connection with customers, and how can I nurture and love on my customers? So if I have a customer creep out that I haven't engaged with in a while, they haven't been active in the group in a while, or I haven't talked to them in a long time, this is a golden opportunity for you. If they comment and say, oh, I want a label, I want to do the challenge, and they haven't been active for a long time and they're on LRP, and I'm like, oh, I'm trying not to don't scare them off by being so excited. Like people are engaging, they're interacting, like this is great. so I will use this as an opportunity to love on them a little bit. So I might stick, we do, like I said, we do these magnets. This is how I roll magnet. They're really cute. You can see that a little better than the orange ones, but these are super thin. They barely weigh anything. And I can slide it into the envelope with the label. You could also get a slightly bigger card. You could stick an A to Z guide in there. Like you could love on your customers. You can get creative. The sky's the limit. You could fold up your jumpstart guide to roller blends and put it in there and be like, oh my gosh, Tony, I haven't seen you, or I haven't chatted with you a while. I'm so excited for you to join our challenge. I just figured I'd throw in a fun A to Z guide or whatever. Do you see what I'm saying here? Like engagement, like how many times are we texting our customers or calling them or emailing them? And there's so many people. When people join the Fun Oil Stuff Facebook group, like I ask questions like, what's your biggest challenge? One of the biggest things I hear over and over again is I can't get my customers to text me back, or nobody will respond back to me. Why won't they respond back to me? Like 47 iterations of like, nobody likes me, nobody wants to talk to me, nobody gets back to me. So this is a fun way, like they volunteered for you to engage with them. And then, so I just use that as a fun little chance to like be fun and send them a little love. And then be cool afterwards and not like try to stalk them out and get them to do something afterwards, you know? So anyway, I think I've driven that one home, but so I keep a list of each challenge of who volunteered, who wanted the label. I keep a list of who I sent the label to, so I can check back as I'm going through the challenge. If I feel like people are kind of lingering off and maybe not, you know, nobody's commented, because I'll show you here in a minute, I'll post through the 3 days of like little fun gifts and things like that. Like, hey, it's time to use your roller, you know? And if I feel like people are drifting off, then I have that list of names that I can go quickly, you know, jump on there and be like, hey, Rebecca, you know, how's it going with your roller? You know, it's a way to kind of keep it fun and engaging during the 3 days. So anyway, so I have them make their roller, and then it's almost time. We go through a set yourself up for success with every challenge and just coach them a little bit on like, make 2 rollers. Oh my God, take one to work and leave it at work and have one in your purse, you know, set your diffuser up and put a bottle of water and your oils that you want to use right next to it. You know, like we just coach them on like, how could we make this so easy that you just can't even, you know, believe how easy it is. It's so easy, they have to do it, you know? And so we coach them on that kind of stuff. And then we kick them off the night before and just remind them, hey, this is what the plan looks like, you know, the couple of things we're going to do. And then we get into day 1. Now, the first couple of challenges I did, I was just like, go use your roller. That's pretty much all I said. A couple posts a day with something funny or fun, and go use your roller, or go put lemon, you know, did you drink your lemon in your water this morning? Just like that. But then I realized I was kind of missing a golden opportunity. Like, again, they're voluntarily engaging with me. So this is a chance for me to authentically educate a little bit if I can just do it in a fun and subtle and interesting way. And so that's what I started developing, is like, so this post here is all about like, why do we tell you guys to inhale the blend? Like, why do we tell you to smell off of your hands after you apply the roller? Like, I don't know if anybody's ever explained that to you, you know, so I do it in a fun, light way, you know, just a couple quick lines and make it like, isn't that fun? It turns out it's hooked into your limbic system. And when you breathe in the oils, you can start changing how you feel within a few seconds. Like that, just that couple little tips. That was educational. They learned something, but it wasn't like a big lecture. We're going to have lots of interruptions tonight, apparently. So you get to hear my house. So isn't that fun? Okay. And so there's only 2 posts a day that are actual posts. And then in the middle of the day, I schedule out just a fun, quick GIF. That's like, you know, I'll show you. Let me show you the wake up and get focused. Wake up. Posting guide. Here we go. So in this one, this is the one I just finished. So this is the posting guide. And down here, I get into the details of like what to post. And on the live, see, this is an example here. So all I said was, this is a screenshot of the Kick That Craving challenge from January. And all I posted at 2 or 3 in the afternoon was like, time to use those rollers, comment done below. And then I put in a funny, it is time, you know, the turtle from like whatever, Kung Fu Panda or whatever, just trying to keep it fun and light. But I schedule out all these posts ahead of time so that it just goes. And then my job is just to hang out, have a good time. I use my rollers right along with them. I comment back to everyone who comments. I take pictures of myself, like with my roller. I participate fully right alongside of them and just try to have a good time with it. So, oh, there's people waiting in there. Sorry. Admit. Okay. So we promote, we prep, we run the challenge. I run it typically on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of the 3rd week of the month. And then I schedule everything out ahead of time. And so all I have to do once I schedule everything, I watch the first few posts until I've got my 18 volunteers for the labels. And well, 17, because I keep one for me. And then I get those mailed out. I've got my little stack ready to go. I stick the stuff in there. I write the notes. I get those out. And then I just monitor comments and have a good time until the week before. I do a live. I do a live every Sunday night in my community. I call it Oils in Your Pajamas. And so I go live the Sunday before the live challenge. I go live and I say, and that night is always dedicated to making their roller. And so they're just short videos. I'm usually showing them how to do something or teaching them something. And so I send it. Patty says, I'm getting discouraged. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna hold off on the questions because I'll get confused in that. So where was I at? Where was I at? Sorry, I'm getting distracted. There's people coming in, there's comments coming in.
You said go live in your pajamas.
Oh yes, thank you.
On Sunday night.
Yes, thank you, Judy. I sure appreciate that. So I go live. I tell everybody make their roller. They have their roller labeled by then, for sure, usually, unless they live like way out. Every once in a while, somebody gets they live in somewhere that it takes forever to get their label for some reason. But most people have it. They stick their oils on there. I do little things. I tell them like, get your sticker sheets out and then like, it's your own custom blend. I'm not giving you a recipe. So put my label on there, but then put like, if you put peppermint, wild orange, and frankincense in there, put your 3 stickers on, and then you can even write like 10 drops, 5 drops, and 8 drops or whatever, and keep track of what you put in there. Cause you might fall in love with this blend and then not remember what's in it, which I have had happen. I just had someone last week message me and be like, oh, I loved that lights out roller that we did last month. You didn't happen to give us a recipe on that. And I was like, oh man, no, we all had our own. And she's like, oh, I don't know what's in it. So anyway, so just be authentic, have fun with it yourself. Like I'm having fun with it as much as them doing the live, making the roller. I tell them what I put in there. And then once we've done that, like anytime we talk, I'm like, post a picture of your roller, you know, that night I'll say, get your roller made and then post a picture of it. I'd love to see. Or if they comment and they don't post a picture, I'll be like, ooh, what did you put in yours? And it's fun to hear what people have come up with. So, you know, just remember the point of the 3-day challenge is it's to increase engagement in your Facebook group. It's to, and it will, and then to also get your customers using their oils for just consistently for a couple of days, like trying something new. And then I'll tell them it's also to engage. It's good because it's good for your new customers because maybe they've never done anything like this before, or they're new to it. And they can still use, even if they have 10 oils at home, they can pick 1 or 2 out for make a roller. But your customers that have been around for a long time, it's so awesome for them because they could literally go through and pull out any of those oils. They probably have most of the oils you suggest, so they get to go through. And I'll specifically say, if you've been with me for a while and you've got a bunch of oils at home, and maybe you already use oils for stress, I want you to go pick out 2 or 3 oils that you don't use very often. And let's see if we can help you find a new favorite oil or a new favorite blend. Wouldn't that be awesome? And they really like that too, because they already, there's a pressure for some of our longtime customers when they look around, they see all these oils sitting there And then they're there's like a pressure on them. They start to feel like, oh, I've got all these oils sitting here and I'm not using them. Let's help them use them, give them ideas. And so I'll tell them, don't use your go-to oils. If you use Serenity and Balance and, frankincense all the time, then you don't use those in this blend. Go pull out something that you've got that you don't use all the time. Beth says you give them a suggested use of oils they might use. Yes, I do. In my posts, I give them a very specific, I say, these are suggested oils. And every time I post the suggested oils, I tell them, you don't need them all. Just pick 2 or 3, because I don't want somebody, I put 14 different oils in there. Like, it doesn't have to be a science project. You can just, I don't want anybody to feel, and I'll tell them specifically, this is not about you going and getting new oils. This is about you using the oils you already have at home, period. That's just the way it is. So I don't want you going and getting new oils. I want you to use what you've got. All right. So anyway, we have fun with that. And then we run the 3 days, like I said, and I check in with them, like I said, 2 educational posts that I try to keep super interesting. I talked about forest bathing, if you guys are familiar with that. I've talked about layering. I've talked about anchoring. I bring in things that not just your standard typical education, but it's I'm trying to bring in things that are interesting. And that's, I think, where a lot of us we've just been posting the same stuff for so many years, that we've got to break out of that and try to make it more interesting to people. And I'm not afraid to suggest things that aren't necessarily oils related either. You can bring up discussion points and talk about the benefits of walking and infrared sauna. And, like, there's all these other things out there people can do. So this is your chance to shine, share a little bit of your other knowledge besides just oils, right? So I get them down to the 3rd day and we finish the challenge. And then on the 4th day, I post a congratulations. Are you finished? How did it go? Let's hear those wins, and a variety of that kind of thing. And then I will check in with people and ask them, if I haven't heard from them, I'll check in with people and be like, hey, how did it go? And you'll always have those people that are like, oh, I totally got derailed. My husband was in a car accident, or my kid got sick, or whatever. And it's no big deal. I don't care, because, it's just a chance for me to show up for these people. This is like $1.50 that I spent. So it's really not a big deal. Like, I'm happy to do it because that left a positive impression in their mind, even if they didn't actually get to finish the challenge. And I'm going to keep doing them so they can keep playing and keep trying new things and whatever. So in a nutshell, that kind of describes like how I came up with this. It wasn't my idea. I was from another industry, totally different brick and mortar like businesses, and how they were doing things to to keep their Facebook group fun. And so I just took it and used my ideation to make it useful for oils. And it's just a really fresh alternative to our standard old continuing education. I just think, with everything the way it is these days, it is a lot to ask to try to get people. We've got to get away from trying to get people to do stuff, trying to get them to come to our continuing education, trying to get them to order these things, trying to get them. If we just engage with them as people and encourage them to use their oils in a fun way that they want to participate in, I just think that goes a lot further, and it's a lot less work for us. It's like attraction marketing instead of, push, not like, I don't know what the other word is, but like from trying, I don't, you know what I mean? You guys know what I mean? Okay. So I'm trying to think what else I need to tell you. What questions do you have? I'm going to look through the link here, or the questions. funoilstuff.com. Yes. Valeska. Oh, I love that. Thank you, Valeska. That's a beautiful name. Let's see. Why 3 days? Denise asked. That's a great question. So the purpose is, I just want them to have an oils experience, and they might have that oils experience in like one use, but I wanted it to be enough time that sometimes that first time, or especially if they've been using their oils a long time, I wanted 3 days in a row is enough that they can have some realizations. And I've gotten that feedback from my customers. I should have pulled some screenshots for you guys. But like I said, I've had them say like, gosh, I mean, they've been using these holes for years. They've got them all. They make rollers, but there's some magic to the consistency piece, 3 to 4 times a day for 3 days in a row. That's the goal. And there's something to that. That's even better than 1 time a day, or just using it when you feel like it, or making it, throwing it in your purse and using it every once in a while. There's power in consistency that happens over 3 days. And I just want to help them remember, holy crap, these oils actually going to do something when I use them consistently. I feel like a lot of us have drifted from that. A lot of our customers have drifted from that. And part of it's because they've used them for so long. So I just wanted to bring them back to that simple, like doing that. What do you use to create your graphics? I hope that's helpful, Denise. What do you use to make your graphics? I use Canva. Yeah. And Norma answered it for me. I do have the premium version, so I get the nicer pictures. Our mail system is super fast. It just varies. That's why I used to do the roller labels the second week, but then I'd have these lingering people that live further away, or some people don't even live that far away, but they must live in small communities. And I don't know about you guys, but I've had packages that come from Michigan, and for some reason they get sent to Texas on the way from Michigan to Illinois. I live in Illinois. I mean, I could drive to Michigan and get the package in like 5 hours. But for some reason, they ship it to St. Louis. St. Louis sends it to Springfield, Missouri. Springfield, Missouri sends it to Texas. It spends a few days there hanging out in Austin. Then they ship it back to Springfield. I'm assuming they realize it shouldn't be there. And then they'll send it back to St. Louis, and then they send it to me. So it takes about 10 to 12 days for no reason. And that's a priority mail package. So these little envelopes, God help them if they actually get where they need to go in a reasonable amount of time. So now I've started doing them the first week, because as soon as I can, and I'm telling them in my lives, this is just in the last month or two over the summer, stick it on your fridge with a magnet. I'm telling them specifically what I want them to do with it, so that when they get it a week and a half before we're going to make the roller, that they don't lose it on accident. So that's how I'm trying to handle that situation. Great question there. Patty says she's getting a little discouraged. I don't know if it's over the talk or if it's just in general, but if it's in general, you are not alone, girl. I bet we could go around the table right now and everybody could share the frustration, it's not an easy time to do what we're doing. And especially if we've been in it for a long time, because we have to come up with whole new ways to do things. So just know that you're not alone, and there's a lot of support in the doTERRA community. So is it that people are making their own blends rather than you telling them specific oil ratios to put in? I do give them guidance on the numbers of drops to put in, but I do not tell them which oils to use. I tell them to pick. I give them usually a list of around 15 to 20 oils. It's also an education thing. I don't have to point it out, but holy crap, there's 15 to 20 oils you can use for stress. Like, I want them to see that list. And I could make it bigger if I wanted to, but I don't want to freak them out. So I just try to include the common ones first for my newbies, so that they know that, oh, my frankincense, or, oh, whatever oil is relevant to the challenge. And then I fill in a bunch, and I try to include some of those odd duck oils that I'm willing to bet are probably sitting there getting ignored, like petit grain. Like, a lot of people, they might have it. They probably had a good reason to buy it back in the day. It's probably sitting there gathering dust. So I try to include some of those, black spruce and arbor vitae, some of those ones that even can smell a little funky, but if they blend them with those 2 or 3 other ones, then they can be nice blends too, nice oils. Are you giving them a recipe? So no, I don't give them a recipe on purpose. And I tell them that's why. I love that we get to hear life happening in your house. Thanks, Lori. You guys are so nice to me. Fire alarm, dogs. I have a black lab mastiff mix, and he thinks he's a hound dog. So every time somebody comes to the door, it's the only time he really barks, but he howls like a crazy man and sprints through the house and like barrels over people trying to get to the door. Betty says, so based on replies, you create a Facebook group. I don't create a Facebook group. I have my own customer group, and I run it in there. So I don't create a new Facebook group for that. Definitely not. You give them a suggested list of oils. Yes, I do. Do you tell them how many drops? Yes, I do. I don't give them an order to put them in, because everybody's using different things. Let's see. I love your approach. Love it. Great. Awesome. Awesome. Share. Oh, sure. Of course. If you can certainly join my group, it's, I keep changing the name for good reason. I'm trying to simplify it. The name of the group is Wellness Advocates Create Connection in Your Community. I know it's a mouthful, but I named it that way so people could find it. I'll post the link in here. It's an open group. You're welcome to join. That's no problem. Okay. And then, so a couple things. How can we maximize this? All right. So the other things we can do is, hang on, I got a couple more questions. I don't want to miss them. Yeah. Okay. Good. Got it. Zoom. Love it. I love all your comments. I'm totally with all of you. It's the beginning. I don't send them a roll or bottle. I just send them the label. And if you missed the beginning part, you can, I'll post the recording so you can grab it again. So I run a new challenge every month. I create a new challenge every month. And if you guys are wanting to know how you can grab them, I'm going to show you how. I do have them in template form and you guys can grab them. Sunday, Monday. Yeah, you've got it. And I'm going to give you this handout. It's not fancy, but it's a written summary of how to create your own challenges. So step by step, this is what I want you to think about. This is what you have to do. Go make your graphics, go make your posts, schedule them out. Like I'm going to give you that stuff with some tips and pointers. But one more thing I want to mention is you can, if your groups are open to the public, you can offer that people can invite a friend. So this is something I want to play with this fall. It hasn't taken off yet, but my challenges are getting better and better. I'm really proud of the last 2 to 3 months worth of challenges. The Wake Up and Get Focused is beautifully done. It's beautifully laid out. And so the better it gets, the cooler it is, the more people are like, oh, my sister really needs this. I feel like she should, I've been chatting with her for oils. So I want to encourage them to invite their sister or somebody, if you know. So I tell them now in the challenges at the end, I say, while I'm promoting it, if you've got a sister or a mom who struggles with sleep that wants to join this challenge, invite them in here and tag them on this post. And then I can message with them. I'd be happy to send them a couple of samples in the mail so they can follow along. Now, I'm not going to send them a roller, but I'm going to send them those little silver foils in an envelope. And I'm going to give them three samples for the 3 nights, and then they can try it, and then I can follow up with them. So again, for you idea people and your brainstormers, if your group is open to the public, that's a good way to start encouraging the practice of inviting their friends to your group, if that's something you're open to. Okay. I like that approach better than like inviting all of your friends. Like it's authentic invitation instead of, and they're interested in this specific, sometimes it's hard. People don't just invite their whole list of friends to a Facebook group. And even if they did, you probably wouldn't want that. You'd have a bunch of random people in there. But if with this way, you can really work with those are targeted potential people that maybe could really use your help and are genuinely interested. It's a really nice way to get some referrals too. So I wanted to make sure I mentioned that. Okay. Let's see here. They get the label roller. Good. Thank you guys for answering the questions in here. Okay. Love this. Do we have access to this info? Yeah. So, okay. So what I'm doing is I've been running them in Facebook groups. So if you go to funoilstuff.com, I did start sharing because people do ask, because I've showed this to a few people and they wanted to know how they could get it. So you've got a couple of options. You can go make your own. I fully support you in that. I'm an ideas girl. I support you. go do that. But if you like having your, something to work with, or just having it completely done for you, you can go to funoilstuff.com, click on digital designs. And this is the Kick That Craving challenge that I ran in January. It's currently available for $8. That will be going up to the price I'm offering it now is going to be $15. So if you want to grab it in the next like 10, 20 minutes, I didn't realize it was still at $8. You can grab that. And the Lights Out challenge is also available in there. That's the sleep challenge. So those are both set up. You get all the graphics, you get the posting guide that walks you through all of the posts, when to do your lives. example language to use, everything you need. And then and I do ask you again, please brand these, put your logos on the graphics, run them in your private groups. They don't go on public social media. Just protect my work, protect your own group. And it's really powerful for them to go through this and see your logo and everything too. So I want that for you as well. So these are two of the ways. I'm working on loading the tummy troubles one and the wake up and get focused. Those are two I've just run recently. So those will be up here in the next day or two. But one of the things I have to talk about is my event cafe. So Rebecca's on here, I believe. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with my event cafe, but it allows you, it looks like Facebook, and it allows you to run a Facebook style event. And what I like about it is that one, it's not on Facebook. And so it's not competing with notifications from all these other things. And two, it sends them a text or an email each morning so that they can, you say, oh, it's day one. So they register. And when they register, there's already content there. So this is get ready for the challenge. This is the day one is when they register, right? And so I'm going to invite them. This is the wake up and get focused challenge. So what type are you? There, I have a question for them, right? I want them to decide this first. And then they can look and see, well, what do you need? And you can see it's the same content from the Facebook group. Can you guys see the screen? Okay, good. So I'm going to share it for a second. Then it talks about making their roller. So now it's different. I'm not running it as a live. I give them a couple of days to prep, set up your diffuser. And then they have a wait day because, it takes people a day or two to get in there and do their things. And then I tell them, we start tomorrow. Then there's the set yourself up for success post. And then we get into your challenge 1, 2, and 3. Those are the days. And again, I like it because they get one text in the morning with a link to that day. They can still see the previous stuff if they missed it. And it goes right to their phone. Is the texting is my favorite thing. And they can quickly click on it and go in, read the couple of posts. They can comment. You can't see it here because this is the template, but they can comment and reply back to each other and do all these fun things. I just think it's flipping amazing. I love that. And then my favorite thing about it is once you get done, it's another favorite thing, because I've already said it's my favorite thing like 2 other times, but you guys get it, is that once they just launched this new capability that once you are done with it, you can take it from, so this is the challenge. So once it's done, you can change it from a live event that happened over a scheduled 3 days to an evergreen event. And why is that important? Well, let's think this through, you guys. You're going to have customers that 3 months from now are like, oh my God, my brain fog is killing me. You're talking to a customer and they're really struggling with this. And you can be like, you know what? We've got this super fun 3-day challenge and it's really easy to do. And like all you're doing is using a roller for a couple of days, but I think it'd be a good fit for you. Do you want to check it out? And then they'll be like, yeah, that sounds great. And then you send them the link and they register and it's all there. And so they can work through it, the 3-day challenge themselves. And you could create a little library. This is what I'm going to do of 3-day challenges. So then I can quickly, if I'm talking to a customer and they're struggling with sleep, and even if it's a longtime customer, and I know they've got like 73 oils sitting at their house right now, that's something they can do that I think it would work out better than like me telling them to go do a bunch of stuff. And then I'm trying to like follow up with them and see if they did it. And like, it gets complicated, right? But if I say, this is something you could do on your own, people kind of like that. Like you can do this challenge, just click here and it walks you through it. And then I can still nurture them. It's telling them the stuff that I would want to tell them. But if I keep telling them all this stuff, it overwhelms people and they drift off and they check out. So if we put it in a fun format that's available at their fingertips, then they could just go through it. Anyway, I think it's brilliant. So that's my plan is I've got 5 challenges done so far. I'm revamping the stress less one right now because I feel like I'm going to need it because we're heading back into school. I'm going to, one of the next ones after that is the Soothe 3-day challenge. I think I'm going to call it Soothe. It's the pain relief 3-day challenge. I'm really excited about that one. And then I'll probably branch out into like a back to school 3-day challenge that'll come up with like a couple of things like using a roller on your kids' feet before they go to school, before they go to bed, and make a second roller that's for immune, and you're going to put it on their back of their up and down their spine before they go to school the next morning. And that's the whole challenge for 3 days, is just to do those 2 things. Like, that sounds brilliant, right? Like, I think as a mom, if somebody just told me that and they helped me make the rollers, and that's all you got to do, mom. Put this on them before they go to sleep. Put this on them before they go to school. 3 days. Let's see what we can do, like, and just make it fun. That's another one that I want to make too. So anyway, I'm way over talking at this point. How's it going in the chat box? Anybody have questions? Mary asks, can I get the you can get the Wake Up and Get Focused 3-day challenge on my event cafe right now. It's $15 and it's all loaded for you. The only thing I have to work with Rebecca on, is that I have additional graphics that I want to give you that you can use to promote it. And I know they just put in these fancy webhooks, and I don't know how they work yet. So once they do that, then it will, I want to make it so it'll automatically shoot those email files to you, but that's not set up yet. So if you purchase this one, I'll be watching, and then I'll have to manually email you the additional graphics, and I'll send you the posting guide too, because you bought it. I mean, I don't care. I could send you the whole file for the Facebook group, but if you'd rather run it in my event cafe, it's created, it's loaded for you. You'll still get all the content with the graphics and everything. So any questions? We're right at 7:46. I rocked it. I feel really good about that. Okay, anybody have questions? So you can get the Lights Out and the Kick That Craving 3-day challenge. If you want the Facebook version that you just want to create your own on Facebook, then you'll get those at funoilstuff.com. And I'm loading the tummy troubles and a couple more of the graphics there. If you want to, yeah, there is a Kick That Craving label, and there's 5 or 6 different labels. If you want to get the, let's go back to Fun Oil Stuff. The label collections are here, sticker sheets, I believe. Yeah, so we've got the Lights Out, the Stay Healthy, the Zinger, the Tummy Troubles. Oh, I don't have the Kick That Cravings yet. Kick That Cravings and the Pain one are my next 2 most important ones, and the Chill Out. But they'll keep coming. There'll be a label sheet for every challenge.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
This is Lori Voss. I have a question. How are you inviting people to these challenges if you're not doing it in a Facebook group? Say like you're doing it on My Event Cafe.
I would promote it there in the Facebook group. And if you have, that's what I like about My Event Cafe too, is that you could promote it to your Facebook group. If you have Project Broadcast or a texting service, you can text it out to your personal customers and be like, oh my gosh, you guys, we're doing this fun new thing. It's going to be so awesome. We just learned about it. It's a 3-day challenge. It's here. You're going to love it. You want to check it out, and then give them the link to register. And then, you can do it there. You can do it in email. You can promote it anywhere you want to.
So you invite people to come to this challenge, and then you mail them the label, or you mail them the bottle?
No, I never mail them the bottle.
You just mail them the label?
Yeah, I do it in one of these, like, this is a thank you card I got at the dollar store. And I get them set up ahead of time. It's so hard. This is crazy. This is my card. So it's got I use a stamp. So I stamp my address on there. I do put a little sticker on the bottom of it. So when they get it, they know it's from me. And it's just that little essential oils are a good idea, bottle sticker of mine. And I put the stamp on it. And so this is ready to go. And then I have the labels cut up. I have the cards ready to go. And then all I have to do is make my list of people, run it, make a quick note to them like, hey, sometimes it's as easy as, if they do it regularly, I'll just be like, hey, Tamara, here's your label. Super excited for this one. It's going to be fun. And then I sign it and stick it in there. And I mail it.
The challenge depends on this one label bottle?
Usually, I mean, I've always used a roller label in every challenge just because it's kind of such a no-brainer. But I usually have one extra thing, like one other thing to have them do. So it might be With the stress less, it's diffusing. I want them to find 30 to 40 minutes a day that they can, hey babe, will you shut that door for me? That they can diffuse some calming oils. And I talk them through, like, pick that place where you find yourself hanging out for 30 to 40 minutes. For some of us moms, it's the kitchen, cooking and washing dishes, or it's in the bathroom where you're combing everyone's hair and putting them up in pigtails and doing your hair and makeup in the morning. So put your diffuser in the bathroom on the counter, plug it in, put a bottle of water next to it, stick your 2 calming oils right there so that you literally would come in there stumbling in to pee in the morning, and that starts off your morning in the bathroom, and you turn on your diffuser, plug your oils in there, and that's your 30 to 40, like, I don't care where it is. Maybe it's watching TV at 6 o'clock at night with your husband, whatever it is. I talk them through that stuff. So that challenge, those are their 2 things: use their roller and try to find 30 to 40 minutes a day where you're running your calming oils next to your head. And it can also do it while you're sleeping. That's fine. The wake up and get focused is using their roller and putting lemon in their water in the morning, or some kind of citrus oil. So I do give them one other thing to do typically.
Okay. And so then is there a prize at the end or something of the 3 days?
I don't do that. I am the prize is the experience and the label. So I just think with the cost of shipping, and, I've given away, what happened to me was I did LRP Club for years, and I gave away full bottles of products and tons of travel pouches, and spent $5 to $8 to $10 on shipping because I had to have in a box, and water bottles and purses and swag from convention and all these things, and I'd spend like, it's 4 or 5 items or packages, but still that's like anywhere from $50 to $100 worth of stuff and shipping. And then all I'm loving on are those 5 people. And what happens is those same 15 people are cycling through, winning all the prizes all the time.
Yeah.
What about everybody else?
Yeah.
What about everybody else? And it's kind of a gimmicky thing to begin with. So I just hit a point where I'm done with that. My more authentic customers they're not into winning a prize. They don't want to jump through a hoop. Like, we're trying to get them to jump through this hoop and we'll give you a prize. Like, I'm just over all that stuff. I want an authentic Facebook group where it's fun and people want to hang out with me, and I have fun in there too. And I'm not going to try to bribe everyone with $30 gifts if they'll just do the things I want them to do, And that's not what we were doing. That's not what I was doing back then. But I hit a point where I felt like it wasn't authentic anymore. And so it's not a bad thing. There are times and places where we do want to do things like that. And it's not like I don't, at BOGO time, I do giveaways every time. Christmas, 12 days of Christmas, happy to do it. But when I do it, I want to do it from authentic place of like, yes, this is part of the experience, is giving away gifts to a select number of people. But I can't do that every month. And this is a much more affordable way, and it feels more authentic, and it's useful. Anything we send to our customers, it's useful. That's authentic. It's not me trying to convince them to go buy more stuff, kind of a thing. Even if that's not my intention, sometimes that's how it can come across to our oils communities, I think. So
what about recognition? Do you recognize the people that completed it?
That's something that I'm just exploring. I just did this amazing course on memberships, and they talked a lot about like people completing things and recognition and things like that. So I am toying with that idea. I don't have that solution yet. If you follow along with me in the Facebook group and stay a part of this, if this is something that really feels good to you, like you get excited, this sounds like something that you feel like is doable, then I'll be sharing all of that in here. So even if you get started now and you grab some of these challenges and start playing with them, like, I'll be sharing updates and like best practices and try this, that sort of thing. So don't worry, I'm exploring it.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
Maybe it's at the end of the year, maybe I gather, like, if you completed the challenge, make sure you comment below, because I'm going to put you in the drawing at the end of the year, and then I'm going to do big giveaways at the end of the year. It's not like I don't have plenty of stuff to give away. I just don't want to be giving away stuff every month just because they did a 3-day challenge. That's not how I want to motivate it. So
I do think people do like to be recognized, so it feels good to recognize people.
They do. And so so far I've been doing it with, like, I genuinely want to know how it went. And so, so I'm trying to use that, like, more of my attention instead of like sending them a prize kind of a thing. So
Yeah.
I do have, so here's I wanted to figure out how could I get this to you guys, because I know it's going to get swallowed up by Facebook. So here's what I've got a little quiz here, or it's not a quiz, it's just like a form. But if you put in your name and your email, I'm going to send you the Word document. So you've got a summary of like how to run a 3-day challenge. If you want to get that, put in your name and email. And then digital medals and badges. They did talk about that, Melissa, in the membership group. So I'm going to be bringing, that training was fantastic. So I'll be bringing some of those ideas to our group and talking about that. Lisa, if you could click the link and post it there, guys, actually click this link, because if you don't, I'm not going to be able to go through and get everyone's emails out of the chat box. So if you just click this link, it'll open up, put in your name and email, and then I'll send out the link to the document. And then you can join the Facebook group if you want to. You can get My Event Cafe. Rebecca, do you have I need to share my link, right?
No, I can share. Well, if anybody's wanting to just check out My Event Cafe and start a free trial, it is just www.myeventcafe.com. You do not have to put a credit card or anything in to have a free trial. You can go and purchase her templates during your free trial. If for some reason you didn't want to stay with My Event Cafe, you could, I think.
Oh, link is out.
I think Joyce said, yeah, no, did you say you're going to send them a copy of the event? I think I'm
Yeah, they'll get a recording. They'll get a recording.
Yeah, so you could still use that, or you could copy and paste it. If you decided not to stay with My Event Cafe, you would still have access to that template information. So you can go and purchase it. Also, I'm going to put a link in, if it's okay, Joyce. We have a tutorial event starting Monday. If anybody just wants to see how My Event Cafe works, you can participate in my event. It's a go at your own pace. We'll send you a text every morning if you put your phone number in, and then you'll get to see what your participants would experience if they were doing your events.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. That's beautiful. Love it.
Yeah, thank you.
If you guys try copying the link and pasting it into your browser, it should pop up. I was posting the wrong link earlier. Sorry, that was my fault. But the second link I just posted is correct. So, and that'll get you the free guide. And then the other thing is, if you put your email in, I'm not going to send you all kinds of marketing emails, but what I'll do is I'm going to flag it as 3-day challenges only. And then every time I load a new 3-day challenge, you'll just get a notification email that says, hey, this one's going up. If you want to go check it out, have fun with it. All righty. Cool. I do have some of my CCA folks in here. I got to give a shout out to the CC Academy is a community that we have through Fun Oil Stuff, where I teach people how to create connection with their customers through their Facebook group and through nurturing their personal enrollments. And so the CCA folks get access to all of my 3-day challenges each month. I load a new one for them, and we do it as a group, and I coach them through what do you say when you call your customers or text them? What do how do you handle different situations? How do you nurture customers that have ordered every month, but they were enrolled by somebody else? You don't even know them. How do, all these things, like, how do we handle these things? We work through all that together and practice and build our skills and get really good at it. So the CCA is it's a closed community right now, but it will be opening up after or around convention. So if being part of a small community of people who are all rowing the boat, taking action and building their skills around their community, building retention, if that's important to you, then watch for you'll hear about that in the Facebook community. But my CCA folks, a lot of them have run their first 3-day challenges. We did that last month together. Yeah. So it's been a really fun experience. So, all right, guys, well, I'm going to turn you loose. Question and answer. It looks like we've answered everything. If you've got any last minute questions, feel free to hang around for a minute, but otherwise we'll get the recording up, and I'll post the links in the comments of the recording as well. Thank you. All right, I'm just gonna hold for 1 second here, make sure there's no more questions. Thank you. Beautiful, love it. Perfect. All right, guys, thank you. Have a good night.
Thanks, Joyce. Did great. Super
Okay.
exciting.
Thanks. All right, we'll see y'all.